Hey everyone, welcome back or welcome to the channel. I'm Campbell, an indie author and freelance editor. Today we are going to do a little sit down chat. Grab your beverage of choice. It is like 9 a.m. for me, so I have coffee. But today I want to talk about my third poetry collection. Way back in my publishing calendar for 2024 video, I had talked about wanting this one to come out in August. I'm now sort of rethinking that, and I'll go into why. But I also want to talk about the new marketing strategy I'm going to be trying, which is not avant-garde in any way. It's just I'm actually going to do more marketing, as well as how the freelance editing is going. Because as I mentioned, or maybe I haven't, I don't remember at this point, in March, I read 9 full-length manuscripts. And I can't put any of them on Goodreads because they're unpublished. So I'm trying to be more proactive in reading published works, both trad published and indie published, just so I am reading published work of any kind. Right now, I am absolutely obsessed with Instructions for Traveling West by Joe Sullivan. This is fantastic. I'm nearly done with it. My little Squirtle bookmark, that's actually a sticker, it's fine. But it's beautiful, it's poignant, I absolutely adore it, and I think this style of poetry is what I want to try to, oh my gosh, and maybe emulate in my future poetry. I also think that Tortured Poets Department is going to play a big role in the direction I go. So for those who don't know, the ones came out in 2023. This was inspired by the modern poetry of today, so Ruby Carr, Courtney Peppermill, Atticus, June Bates. That's really where a lot of the inspiration for this one came from. And then Missed Arrows, you are looking at more, I think, singer-inspired is how I would say it. So Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Halsey, that's really where they derived. And then you can see behind me, my mom was really sweet and made these little posters of my books. I don't know why this one, which is very, very pink on camera, came out like coral salmon color. I have no idea, but the ones is really accurate. But with that in mind, for that third poetry collection, I think we're really going to dive more into Joy Sullivan and anybody else I can really find who is doing, I can show you a couple, but it's poetry prose in like the true sense of it. And mine are more like, I have some poetry prose, but it's really mainly poetry style in terms of the format. But I want to dive more into that style of modern poetry. So I think this third collection, regardless of whether it comes out in August or a little bit later, I haven't even put it up for pre-order, so I still have plenty of time to make up my mind. But it is going to be a different wavelength than these ones. In terms of the theme, and then in terms of the style, because I think currently I have 3 short stories that are slated to be in there, maybe 4, I need to go back and check. I've been doing nothing but editing it in whatever free time I can find these last few weeks, because I'm sending it to an editor next week, which is really exciting, because I've got beta readers, I've got critique partners, but I haven't had an editor on any of these. Quite frankly, I didn't really feel the need for these ones, because they're much more casual. This one is just straight up petty poetry. This is how I market it. So, but this next collection is very deep, it's very dark, and I think that it's going to appeal to a wildly different reader than my first 2 collections. I would think the ones would be in between Missed Arrows and this upcoming collection in terms of theme and style. So if you liked the ones, you'll probably like this next one. If you liked Missed Arrows best, this may not quite be the book for you, that's okay. But I'm really excited. Edits have been going really smoothly for it. I think because I spent much longer to write these poems than I did. Missed Arrows, pretty much start to finish, took like 2 months. This one, the third poetry collection, took probably about 4 or 5 months before I was finished writing and adding and tweaking. So I am really grateful I found an editor, because this is going to make me stop adding and taking away and actually having someone else look at it, because I have not even sent this to beta readers yet, because I can't stop tweaking it. Very difficult. Also, I'm gonna put up screenshots here because I'm terrible at recording my laptop. I promise I will learn, I promise. But I have a Pinterest board, you can go follow it if you like, of all the 2024 poetry covers coming up this year. Of course, you have Joy Sullivan on there, and then you've also got a few others. I know Atticus, his released, oh my gosh, was it last month, February? I don't remember. LVOE Volume 2. I don't know why that was hard for me to say. But I'm looking at them. And so you can look at mine, which Miss Darrow's is on there because it came out in February. Well, I think I even forgot to mention that. But regardless, they're very Ruby Carr, Courtney Peppernell, and Nature in terms of the design. And for this one, it was kind of following that. But looking at it, we're really diving into color this year. A lot of pinks, a lot of oranges. Green is also really popular. Instructions for Traveling West obviously was like that dusty green and brown, which I love because it's about the West. That makes total sense. But I also am looking at mine going, mine deals with something that is basically black, gray, and brown in nature, which will make sense once I reveal the title. But I'm not sure if I could pull off more of an illustrated cover just because of what it talks about. I have about 25 to 30 pages of poetry written that would be for a completely separate collection of poetry. That one I can easily see having illustrations for. But this one, I think I'm going to have to kind of keep the similar design, but I have noticed that the titles are becoming less divided and more entwined with the artwork, and I really love that. So I'm playing around. I currently have like 4 cover designs for this upcoming collection, which I did not even have close to for the other ones. So we're really doing a lot of research and trying to figure out what matches the market trends while also obviously being unique, but I want it to look as much like a trad published collection as possible, just so maybe it can appeal to more readers. I have mentioned in very old vlogs at this point, some of my regrets with this one was not including poems on the front like I did with Miss Darrow's, and I think that that would really help. But also I'm still in love with this, but I feel like I could have done it better. But I'm also like, I'm not at the point where I'm going to redesign that one at all. I've kind of played with it, but it's not something I'm like really big into doing right this moment. I'd rather get a couple more books out. And also, the whole thing that kind of started getting this one out in August was I wanted to follow like a 6 to 7 month publishing schedule. But I'm also going to be putting out my young adult story later than I planned as well. Just because of my freelancing work, I don't have time to work on a full-length novel. And good and bad, of course, because that means I have work and I'm getting paid. But it's definitely something that I'm adjusting to in determining how I can work on my projects while not neglecting my clients' projects. And I think that's actually a good segue to go into freelance editing just for a little bit. I have noticed on my channel that my Fiverr videos completely get blown out of the water. My AuthorTube videos are averaging like 150 to 200 views. My Fiverr videos get a minimum of 400. I think one is at like 2,000 now. But I also want to make sure I dedicate time to AuthorTube because that's what this channel was started for. But my freelance editing is going really well. As I mentioned, I read 9 full-length manuscripts in March. Oh my gosh, how many am I slated for? Maybe like 7 so far in April, and one of them is a line editing job. Thankfully, I did beta reading for her in the last like 6 weeks or so, so I don't have to read it through because I already have. I have a really good plot summary that I wrote for myself while I was beta reading, so I can review that as well and then just dive right into the line edits. But the growth I've seen on there is crazy because, as I've mentioned, I'm part of Alexandra Fasulo's freelancing group on Facebook. It is nothing but frustration about the new Fiverr metric system. Understandable, it doesn't make any sense. They're not explaining anything. However, because of my niche, I have not slowed down in orders since January started. I pretty much was like half the orders that I would normally get in October, and then like nothing November, December, which makes sense. Everyone's shopping. You're not spending a lot of money on, yourself those months. But since January started, I think I had reported that I made 5 times as much money January of 24 as it did in January of 23. And that number has just exponentially risen. I have done at least 2 to 4 times what I made in the previous year's month to the corresponding month. So we're doing fantastic. I have no complaints there. I have raised my prices, I think 2 or 3 times this year because I cannot keep up with the workload, but I also don't want to just have my gig. Girls, go get the squirrels. I don't know if that's going to work at all. But anyway, yeah, so I went ahead, raised my prices to keep up with it. Once you're full in your queue for a specific service on Fiverr, they will pull you off of the search results. I don't want that to happen. That scares me. So I've got it raised up so that I think there's like 10 orders in the queue. Before it was like stopped at 4 because I didn't think I could handle it. But I also stretched out the delivery date to 2 weeks, regardless of your Word document. Word document? Your word count. Oh my heavens. So that's what I'm working with. And of course, editing jobs like line edit, copy edits are 3 to 4 weeks no matter what. But it's been going really well. I am basically reading 2 to 3 manuscripts a week on average. And which it's a lot, but I'm loving it. Like, I love the fact that I get paid to read books and then like essentially write a book review of it. It's really awesome. So that's going fantastic. I have no complaints there. But when it comes to these guys, I was going to make a whole video about it. I might just make a short about it. I don't know. But I had my first beef with Ingram Spark. So they were screwing up the blurb on every website it was on. The formatting was off. I changed it so many times. They were on the Amazon for pre-orders, but they weren't like ordering correctly. I don't know what was going on. I finally said, can you just pull it off? Like, I don't know what's going on, but just take it off. I'll re-add it later. Just take it off right now. It'll be a little Amazon exclusive for a few months. 9 got returned to me. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll just lose the royalties on them, right? No. So 9 of them got returned. I made roughly, I'm trying to do the math in my head, maybe like $30. Let's just say 30, right? Is what my royalties were. I owe Ingram Spark $85 for these 9 copies, which is ridiculous. What I should owe is the printing cost and then the shipping cost to send them to me, and that is it. No, I'm essentially paying full price for these books. These are normally $11 a piece. That's $99 before taxes. I'm paying $85. I mean, I think that's how much in royalties I earned in the first 3 months of this book on Ingram Spark. So that has made me completely reevaluate. I'm no longer offering returns on my books. I've already put them down to the lowest wholesale discount rate of 40%. So we're just going to do that. Yeah, I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense when I didn't pay that much for them, but whatever. I also don't want to do destroy because that doesn't. I worry that they would just destroy them and charge me something for that, and I definitely don't want to do that. So there are copies of this over on Etsy. They're signed copies, of course. They're $10 a piece, so it's the cheapest you will ever get them will be on my Etsy shop or later on my website when I get that. But you can get Missed Arrows, $10 for the paperback. I believe if you don't have the ones, I think there's one left, literally, of the ones. If you buy like 2 items, I think you get 15% off. I'm not sure what the code is set for right now. But I need to make up that $85. Which brings us right into the marketing plan. I don't have a script. This just happens to flow really well for some reason right now. I am following Modern Millie. She is over on, I think, every social media that there is on this earth. I follow her on YouTube and Instagram because that's where I'm at. And I am doing her 30 Reels in 30 Days challenge. So I am doing 3 Reels a week for this guy. 3 Reels a week for this guy. And then 1 for my editing services. Not that I need it, clearly, but just to have variety in there. Just so every Monday there'll be a random reel about like testimonials or services I offer or something like that. So we're doing that. We are on day 2, 3? I don't know. I have no idea. I think it's officially day 2. And what I'm doing is you've got the quote, a poem excerpt. There we go, brain. And the background is the background that flashes every 0.3 seconds. So pink themed for Missed Arrows, green for the ones. and we're gonna see how that goes. So I do have it set up, and I've created videos in Canva where I am basically, you know, I have enough going for me for 30 days. After that, we'll go ahead and maybe jump to the 60 days. She has a full program. It's a free webinar as well. It's 100 reels in 100 days, which is kind of the goal. And in the meantime, any reels that I upload over there, I will just upload to YouTube as shorts. I'm not really getting a whole lot of hits, but that style does not do well on YouTube, but that's okay. I'm trying to focus on one social media at a time. So we're going to grow Instagram for 30 days, and then once I've got that consistently, I'll go ahead and just create more videos for it, and then focus on more YouTube-centric shorts, or I may just focus more on long form because that does far more for my viewership. Also, for those marketing goals, the goal is just to upload every single day, specifically reels and then stories as well, at least one story a day. And those are my direct goals for myself. And then the indirect goals I hope to gain from that are more subscribers on YouTube and more followers on Instagram, as well as more book sales. So just so you know, this one, Miss Arrows, is on Kindle Unlimited. This is my Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Halsey petty poetry about exes. So this one you can get in Kindle Unlimited, and it will be taken out of Kindle Unlimited sometime in May or June. So just keep that in mind. The Ones is completely wide. This is my petty poetry, but also mixes in grief family. It's kind of a little bit of everything. And this one you can get on Everand for free. You can do the 1-month trial. Doesn't cost anything. You can cancel it before. It's really easy to cancel. Like, they don't make you jump through hoops. You can read it there for free, but I still get a cut. I think I make like $2.37. And of course, both of them are on Etsy currently, and you can get both of them from Amazon for $10.99. So that's my marketing plan, is to just be more consistent with it, because when Missed Arrows came out, I had just come back from a cruise, and then the end of February is when I was getting hit with orders. There was about 5 weeks straight where I had 7 manuscripts to either better read or edit or help with query letters on at any given time. Sometimes it would fall to 5, and then as soon as I got down to 5 orders and I was like, cool, I can breathe, I would get 2 more orders overnight. So that's what we're working on. But that is my little update. Seriously, guys, you guys need to go check this book out. Should be in libraries. It was published by Dial Press. But if not, it's, I know, $17 at Barnes & Noble, which is where I got it. But you can also find it on Amazon, everything like that. And she's also on Instagram, and she posts a lot of her poems there, and they're really awesome, so go follow her. But thank you so much for joining me. I was worried this would be chaotic, but I think it flowed pretty well. We will see what editing Amber thinks of all this. But thank you so much for watching. I'm currently uploading every 2 weeks for long form videos. Go ahead, you can follow me on Pinterest below. If you know of any 2024 poetry collections are coming out, please let me know in the comments. I will go and add that cover to the Pinterest board. I kind of want to just add as many as I can to provide research purposes, but you guys can also use them for research purposes if you publish in poetry. And lastly, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all the clicky button things, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye.
Let's go. I got big dreams, I'ma do big things. Yeah, you see me on the big screen looking so clean. I don't move slow, I'm